Jack Thunder and the Fragments of Anima. Book 5. Fire. Chapter 10. Shadow-Paws shines. Jack? Jack! Can you hear me? The storm gremlin turned towards Shadow-Paws. The former's arms trembled, threatening to drop his staff as sweat poured down his forehead. Yeah, what is it? He asked breathlessly. I know this sounds crazy, but I need you to cast that levitation spell on me. I've got an idea for how I can turn things around. Jack Thunder paled, realizing what Shadow-Paws was going to do. You're not really going out there, are you? The Necomana nodded. But if you go out there, Grimhide will... Shadow-Paws pointed down to his boots. Don't worry, I got these. They're supposed to help with my courage problem, remember? Jack Thunder hesitated. He wasn't exactly reassured. But there weren't any other good options, so he pointed Stormbringer at Shadow-Paws. Green sparks floated around Shadow-Paws as he began to float in the air. Thanks, Jack. Wish me luck. He saluted the storm gremlin before making his way out of the back of the wagon. Shadow-Paws grasped the lethal joke tightly. Well, here goes nothing. Before he could change his mind, he ran straight for Grimhide. His magic boots allowed him to dash on the air itself, as if he were flying. It wasn't long before the lava dragon spotted him and a column of flame shot from his mouth. Shadow-Paws banked upwards to dodge the flame. He circled Grimhide, flying in a crazed zigzag to keep from being burned alive. Even so, the edge of the flames kissed the tips of his twin tails, threatening to set them alight. The stench of burned fur filled his nostrils. Eventually, though, Shadow-Paws drew close enough to launch an attack. Taking careful aim, he fired 3 smoke bombs at Grimhide's face. They exploded upon impact, blanketing it in laughing gas. Grimhide hesitated for a second. All of a sudden, he began giggling uncontrollably. His eyes rolled all around, unable to focus on his target. The gas had completely confused him. Kirami and Snotter saw what Shadow-Paws was doing from the window. They both nodded their way towards Jack Thunder. He understood and cast the levitation spell once again. They hopped onto Ruby's back and ran after Shadow-Paws. Side by side, they did their part. Snotter swung Terra towards Grimhide's mouth. A net of vines shot out of the axe and snared Grimhide's mouth shut. The dragon whipped his head from side to side, not understanding why he couldn't open his mouth anymore. That's when Kirami leapt in. Ruby matched Shadow-Paws' speed as they charged towards the lava dragon. Remembering how effective Yuki was against Terry's null magic poisoning, Kirami charged up its disease-burning spell. The flames from the sword snaked around the lava dragon, wrapping him in a healing blaze. He retched as wendigo substance began to trickle out of his nostrils and mouth. The 3 of them purged the wendigo from Grimhide's body bit by bit. Shadow-Paws kept him disoriented with laughing gas, while Snotter and Kirami both charged up Terra and Yuki's disease-healing spells, expelling the foul liquid from Grimhide's body. Meanwhile, Jack Thunder and Buckthorn did their part from inside the wagon. They directed the trailer towards the cave entrance, hoping to get closer to their adversary. San had the same idea. He made a beeline straight for Grimhide, getting on top of the dragon's head and yanking his finned ears to distract him from the young heroes healing him. Eventually, the vines around Grimhide's mouth snapped. The 3 heroes braced themselves for another breath of flame. However, rather than attacking, Grimhide hunched over and began to heave. Oceans of horrible black fluid gushed from his mouth, coating the entire side of Mount Inferno like dripping syrup on the world's worst stack of pancakes. It didn't last long, though. As soon as it appeared, it rolled harmlessly down the side of the mountain, sinking into the sea. The wendigo mass seeping from the mountain itself stopped flowing too. The bubbling smoke from the top of the mountains disappeared. The puddles and pools that were left scurried away across the ground towards the horizon. All that was left was a single figure kneeling in the muck before them as they touched down on the ground. One with a goat skull for a head and a gray and red cape. Nemesis! Jack Thunder and Buckthorn clambered out of the back of the wagon and brandished their fragments. That wendigo just didn't know when to quit. As he and the others got close, though, they noticed something strange. Nemesis wasn't moving, not attacking, not fleeing, just sitting there. The red glow in its eyes had faded to a rusty brown. Jack Thunder moved closer. Nemesis still didn't budge. Not even when the Storm Gremlin went right up next to it, shoving Stormbringer's blades right in its face. It was as if the Wendigo General had lost all will to fight. "Well, aren't you going to say anything?" San snapped at Nemesis. Still no response. Jack Thunder backed away a bit. This had never happened before. Nemesis had gone through all this trouble, and now it was just giving up? "Just do it, Jack." Jack Thunder staggered back, startled. "Go ahead. Banish me. I'm no match for 5 Anima fragments. Just get it over with." The Storm Gremlin cocked his head. Was this some kind of trick? He looked back towards San and Altaria. The two of them seemed just as surprised as he was. Looking around at his teammates, he could see that they were just as clueless. Even Razor and Ruby looked perplexed. Then another possibility entered his mind. He remembered one of his Razor comics. In it, Razor, the Storm Gremlin from his wall poster, had cornered his arch-nemesis Professor Breezy. Breezy began taunting Razor, encouraging the hero to strike at him. What Razor didn't know was that Professor Breezy had a machine behind him which, when Razor struck him down, would activate, destroying all of Cyclone City. Luckily, Razor saw through the trick and didn't take the bait. Was Nemesis trying to pull something like that? He backed away slightly, still focusing Stormbringer on Nemesis. "Why do you want us to banish you so badly? What's going to happen to us if we do?" he snapped. "Nothing. Nothing's going to happen. I just might as well make this easier on you." "Since when do you care about us?" Snotter growled. "Come on, Jack, let's just banish this freak." Jack Thunder nodded hesitantly. Something about this still didn't seem right. The 5 young heroes lined up, pointing the fragments of Anima towards Nemesis. "Back to the flip side with you and your hate. You have no place in this land of dreams. We belong to Alterus. Alterus is ours. Now be gone." It was over surprisingly quickly. A spark of white light and a luminescent rainbow briefly flashed before their eyes before it faded. When their sight came back, Nemesis was no longer there. A small explosion sounded overhead. Their work was done.